På fredag var jeg i København for å intervjue Jim Ryan, som toppsjef for PlayStation i Europa. Mesteparten av det intervjuet kan du se i Level Up-episode nummer 81, som vi publiserte nå på tirsdag. Det var noe jeg ikke fikk plass til i det intervjuet, det innslaget da, i Level Up-episoden. Så det tenkte jeg å legge ut her. Her snakker han blant annet om Playstation Vita, som jo interessant, men som jeg valgte da å droppe fra Level Up-reportasjen, som ble lang nok som det var. Så se denne, og så kan du gå og se Level Up-episode nummer 81, som du finner på vgtv.no. Last time I spoke to you, it was about the Vita, and you hardly mentioned it at E3, you hardly mentioned it at Gamescom. When I spoke to you last, you had high expectations. You still feel the same way about the Vita?
Yeah, you know, I think people sometimes place too much importance on the fact that we don't talk about Vita too much at these press events. You only got so much time at these things, and it's important to focus on what the top priorities are, and the top priorities right now are PlayStation 4. And because if you talk about everything, then people complain that the press event's been far too long. So you can't win. Vita continues to remain important to us, whether it's as a dedicated handheld gaming device. You know, lots of games in development, well over 100. But I think more importantly, as a partner device, as part of an overall ecosystem where the old ways of having these closed systems, that's all breaking down, and one of the first manifestations of that. PlayStation now is perhaps the ultimate manifestation of that, but one of the first manifestations of this more open, connected world is PlayStation Vita operating as a partner device to PlayStation 4. So if you have a PS4 and a Vita, all of your PS4 games play on the Vita via remote play, and that is something that's been incredibly well accepted, and you know, we're very excited about that, and we'll continue to keep it going.
Now, I talked a little bit about it, but there's like this major shift happening right now in the gaming market towards mobile and free-to-play.
Yep.
If you look at the most grossing titles of last year, there's a lot of those titles in there. The players seem to increasingly choose games outside of traditional video games, and how would you say that affects Sony and the PS4?
I think you know, the emergence and rapid growth of this casual section of the market, we see as representing a considerable opportunity for us, because you know, this sector is very largely incremental to the existing gaming community, because you know, we're doing well with PlayStation 4, as we spoke about earlier, 10 million units faster than we've ever done in the past, and we've done that at the same time as this more casual segment has been growing quickly. So it seems like the two can coexist, and to the extent that we can talk to this less engaged group of people engaged in free-to-play, for example, and persuade them of the merits of the PlayStation proposition, it's an opportunity for us. So you know, yes, it's there. Are we hugely threatened by it? No, not really.
Would you say that it's important that you embrace like free-to-play, microtransactions, those kind of type of games, or do you think it's important to be separate from that and create games that are for, you know, people that aren't that happy about that direction?
It's a very interesting question. We have a considerable number of free-to-play games on our platform, and we believe in choice, we believe in diversity, not forcing anybody to do anything, but offering a range of propositions, and free-to-play forms part of that, and it's there on our platform. I think it's an area that we're working on quite carefully and having to think through, because free-to-play on a console is a bit different from free-to-play on a phone, where you've purchased the phone to be a telephone, and there really is no barrier to entry on that free-to-play game. There's no money involved because you bought the phone anyway for something else. With a gaming console, it's not free-to-play in the completely free-to-play sense because you've had to invest in the money to buy the PlayStation 4. So we got to kind of think about it and come at it intelligently and try and do things a little bit differently. But as I say, we believe in choice, we believe in diversity, and those games are there.
A lot of players aren't that happy that when you pay for a full price game and then there's microtransactions, there's a sense that you don't get the full complete game experience unless you spend more money. Is this something you're thinking about, and is this something that you're considering making like a policy?
Well, the question of what is in the original packaged product, whether it's sold as a download or as on a disc, and what comes later, is a question of choice for an individual developer or publisher. We do feel, as a developer and publisher ourselves, very strongly that it's important to ensure that what we ask people to pay for up front represents proper value for money. And you know, we think with our games, we think we've done that. I don't think we've had much in the way of negative press or bad consumer reactions about the games that we've published, whether it's on PS4 or PS3. But I do think it is fundamentally legitimate as long as you offer proper value with that initial purchase to offer more of the game later on. You know, the nature of gaming these days is people get engaged, they form part of a community to play online. It's not like in the old days with PS1 and PS2 where people buy a game, they play it 10, 15 hours and then trade it in or throw it away or stick it in a cupboard. People are playing these games for a long time, and allowing whether it's on a free basis or on a paid-for basis, gamers to have the option to refresh their gaming experience, to do things differently, meet new people online. I think that's entirely legitimate, but it is the responsibility of our industry to ensure that that initial purchase does represent proper value for money. And I think, you know, in the long run, a developer or publisher who doesn't do that is going to have severe problems, because ultimately gamers are typically not stupid. And they will work out that the initial game it doesn't represent proper value for money and simply not buy it.